we talk?
Schwumbotsch, my head! Damn it all! I swear that was the last time I drank with Redbeard. Oh, Sienna, a bloody long time it's been. You've changed.
Whereas you, not at all, big bad wolf. Though it seems you've started running with the wrong crowd.
And who should I run with, eh? Thumbelina? One shot and she's under the table. But, what brings you?
You could always have a drink with us.
Oh, what now? Not on your life. I can barely stand, I'm so hungover.
You know what they say about the hair of the dog?
Out of the question. And why must you drink? Do you wish to drown some sorrow? And I don't mean to pry, but you don't look much like a young duchess to me.
They stripped me of my title and birthright, then banished me. A family spat, let's say.
Listen, looking for magic beans. Seen any?
I was given one for safekeeping, but...
Where is it? Talk!
Shh, not so loud.
Oh, I can be much louder than this. And resort to other means of persuasion.
Right there, the threats. Sienna to a T. Listen, I exist to restage a fairy tale. If you want to play at it, I'll be happy to oblige. But it won't be easy. The thing is, little Red Riding Hoods popped her clogs.
What?
1,000 times they cut my gut open, filled it full of rocks and drowned me in the river. So once you stopped coming, I decided to repay the little imp for all her loving labor. Who'd know what's at the bottom of the well? She and the hunter, which means we can't play, and I'm under no obligation to talk to you, not about beans, nor anything else. So leave me be. Sod off.
Wolf's pretty cranky.
Surprised? Think about it. He was cast in the role of the Nemesis without ever asking for it. It's a dog's life, I tell you.
So, what now?
Don't worry. I'll play with him. Or rather, play him. I just need that little red hood. A piece of apparel, that is. Not the poor girl's corpse.
That's a relief.
You wish to help me? Here's your chance. Jump in the well and fish it out. Well, chop chop.
All right. Time to jump in the well.
Break a leg.
रोलांमध्ये मैं करतो मी
Any luck?
Yep, look what I got.
That would never fit you. Give it to me. How do I look?
Sorry, don't know much about fashion.
Yes, it shows. Let's go see the big bad wolf.
Let me guess. You'll play the granddaughter.
Mm-hmm. And you, the hunter.
You again? I thought I was clear. I will not talk to you if little Red Riding Hood is not with you!
Not a problem. Sienna can take her place.
What? Very well. It's not as if I can forbid you. Granddaughter, come closer, sweetie.
But Grandmama, what big eyes you have!
The better to see you with, my dear.
Granny, what big arms you have!
The better to embrace you with, my dear.
And Grandmama, what big teeth you have. Eh?
The better to eat you with, my dear.
Ugly and fierce. Remember what Joss said about the red bean. A human has it, and he definitely didn't swallow it.
Mm-hmm. Gotta open his belly. Bottle caps, fake teeth, a corkscrew. Ah, there it is. Red bean.
Well then, one step closer to our goal.
What?
I find myself wondering if you're just horribly discreet, or if those mutations completely scrubbed away your curiosity. Are you really not interested in what happened? In what became of me after they cast me out?
Well, since you brought it up, I'd gladly hear the rest. Let's see. They'd escorted you out of the duchy.
Yes. And the noble knights of Toussaint, I didn't stop until we reached the Ketdu wilderness. They left me there alone, without a copper, in a torn lace dress, right when the frosts were setting in. They assumed something would eat me, or that I'd do everyone a favor and die of hunger. But as always, I failed to live up to expectations. I wandered the woods for a week, went purple from the cold, gnawed the bark from twigs. Finally, I saw a light among the trees. A campsite. They were bandits, bearded, drunk, spattered with blood. I was sure they'd rape me or kill me. Or both.
Take it neither happened?
That's when I learned a robber and a murderer can be a better man than a knight in shining armor. They took me in, we set off for Nazaire, and I did what I could to repay them. I advanced in their ranks rather quickly. Eventually, I became their leader. Of the whole ragged band.
Should have stayed there, maybe.
Perhaps. Perhaps I should have forgotten everything, started a new life. But you know what? There came a point when I thought, you wanted a monster. Then a monster you shall get.
Been through a lot.
I have. And throughout this time, my sister was stomping grapes and shagging minstrels on down bedding.
She wasn't the one to banish you.
And I'm not angry at her for that. I'm angry at her because she forgot about me.
Right. We've had our chat. Come.
Run, Roach. Did you like Anna Henrietta?
हाय बोलना.
Let's go.
क्या जीवन झालं का?
Run, Roach. Get up.
हाँ ते तर आहे रे.
What now, you cursed filth? This long lost tower.
मी माझं बघू नाही शकत. सो मी दुसरा अकाउंट बनवलंय.
Wait.
त्याने
What Joss
बघतोय.
said about the third beam, remember?
In the possession of a bold farmland somewhere deep beneath the ground. Yes, this must be it. Let's go.
Could pull myself up here, and I'll have to make that jump.
If you say so, I shall wait down here if it's all the same. Climbing slope my strong suit.
Prince's corpse. Tried to free Longlocks, but fell and broke his
मी
neck.
उद्या जॉबला जायचंय का? Shit. हाँ चल चल. खेळ खेळ मजा कर.
Lost your nerve? Stunk to climb all that way for nothing.
So?
Got the bean, but long logs. Seems she got sick of waiting for a knight in shining armor.
Can you blame her? Men these days, dandies and fops all.
That why you cozied up to a vampire?
Detlef was a tool, and only a tool.
Too bad he didn't know that.
I trust no one. Learned that long ago. Now it's his turn.
To use him. Was that your plan from the start?
No. At first I was simply intrigued. Do you know the story? It was in Matina, a few years past. I'd gone there to pass some loot off to a fence I know. We were hashing out the terms when in walked Detlef. He said he'd come to sell a silver candlestick. He gripped it through a cloth. That caught my eye. I followed him out, observed him from a distance, but he caught on quickly.
Yeah, superhuman senses will do that.
He turned down a blind alley. I followed. He jumped out from behind a crate, baring his teeth. I suppose he'd wanted to frighten me. Alas, he didn't in the least. After all, I'm a monster too, am I not?
What happened then?
We talked, then met up once, twice, 3 times. Enough that he became infatuated.
I truly enjoyed it at first, but only at first. He did not love like a man, but like an animal, madly, deeply, unconditionally, wildly. To return such a feeling, anyone would be hard-pressed, let alone someone as twisted as I am.
So there came a day you just up and disappeared.
Yes, there was no other way. Let's just be friends, or I don't deserve you. He'd never have understood that sort of thing. But then, once I decided to return, clean up some old affairs, I remembered him and concluded he could still be of use.
Playing with fire, that.
Definitely. And either I'll get burned, or I'll burn all else down. No other options.
Got a history with Detloff now, so this meeting will be different. Not afraid?
I can handle him.
Mm-hmm. Sure about that?
You look at him as a witcher and see a monster. I know what he's really like. You needn't worry. It's time to go. Just a bit more work and we'll be able to say sod off to this fecking fable sphere. Now we must plant them by the path near Longlock's tower. Then prepare to meet the giant. This is the spot. Pull out the beams. Wait!
Why?
The stalk will sprout abruptly. Very abruptly. We must be careful. All right, toss them!
Something's always gotta go wrong.
The home stretch.
Incredible.
Admire the view later. First, we must deal with... him.
Show me what you got. For a fairy tale creature, that was one tough son of a wench.
I told you this land had gone ape mad, though I did not expect it to be so severe.
Can't help thinking you might have done that on purpose.
Why ever would I have?
To get rid of your guard, your captor. Getting close to the exit at this point. Probably think you don't need me anymore.
Well, you're wrong. You still stand to be quite useful to me.
That so? How? Plan to use me like you did Detloff?
No, I need you for a purpose far simpler. Well, don't just stand there and stare. I need a man, Geralt, and I'm not afraid to say it. I have no idea what awaits me once we leave this place. Treat it as my last wish.
Another time, another place, maybe. No offense.
None taken. You spoke clearly, you spoke honestly. It's fine. Come. The exit's this way.
It's got something to show us.
Careful. It's not to be trusted.
Just curious. Why do you want the Heart of Toussaint and the ducal wine?
They were my right. My due.
Doubt we would have figured you out if you hadn't tried to get them. Know that, don't you?
I do. And I regret nothing. One lives but once. Here. We need but jump into the well. You first. Go on, jump in the well.
Portals.
Portals in a fountain? Not terribly practical.
It was a secret passage. Anarietta and I would use it to...
Hide from your governess, which luckily she noted down in her diary, thus I knew where to await you. Never mind that. Has the young lady agreed to help clean up the mess she's made?
She has. And stop treating me as if I were a child.
Would you prefer I treated you like the lion that manipulated you, Earl?
Sienna, you've already run afoul of one vampire. Don't start a fight with another, all right?
Then tell said other vampire to stop taunting me.
I shall do my utmost.
Let's go. Really want to be done with this.
Sorry.
Nice place.
Isn't it? Offers a lovely view of the valley. On a clear day, you can see the outlines of done time.
Is it, though? A ruin like any other, I think.
So sensitive. So aware. Honestly, what did Detlef ever see in you?
Perhaps he'll tell you himself.
Let's get ready. Detlef will be here any moment now.
Sienna, I have a question I must ask you. Did you truly feign it all? That which bound us was a ruse?
Detlef, it's not that simple.
Oh no, it's very simple. You either deceived me or not. In forgiving you, I grieve. For now, we must part.
What? But how?
The ribbon.
Ha! Seems I've been fooled again. She will pay for this, sooner or later. She will pay! You never should have meddled with her!
He's powerful man. He's very powerful. Powerful.
Nice place.
Is it perhaps?
You nervous?
I may I? That I.
That's... The ribbon.
Ha! Seems I've been fooled again. want you just for that. Both of you!
Didn't plan any of it.
Silence! Start praying now. Just for that. You tricked me. Both of you!
Didn't plan any of it.
Silence! You tricked me! Both of you!
Didn't plan any of it.
Silence! Gods, start praying now!
Dear, I was so close.
I want just you tricked me, both of you! Silence! Gentlemen! You tricked me! Both of you!
Didn't get away with it.
Start praying now.
At last. Finally kill a vampire. Oh shit, he's regaining. No, no.
Leave him to me. Be gone.
I can't let...
I insist.
The loading time is too high.
My, what a smashing ensemble. You wear it well.
Shut up. I look like a twit.
The caftan is sewn of the best fabrics available, and according to the best tailoring practices. But one must have a modicum of taste to appreciate this. Even the most exquisite robes cover only deficiencies in beauty, never in refinement.
Usually wear something different, better suited to my trade. Got nothing against this particular outfit, though. Just don't exactly feel comfortable in it. And I despise formal occasions.
Nothing one can't get accustomed to. Now, be so kind as to stand still. All that being as it may, Toussaint's highest honor, the Order of Vitis Vinifera, demands appropriate attire. The Duchess cannot be expected to drape the medal on a suit of armor caked in mud. Palace protocol places enormous emphasis on form, virtuous tradition, etiquette.
Huh. A tradition which values appearances ahead of all else. Which calls for lordly, glistening triviality and misplaced generosity.
Sound wistful. Pensive, Regis. That because they refuse to buy you a new outfit?
Hardly. It's the tone I ever adopt when I find myself pondering, which, believe it or not, happens quite a lot. Besides, I've no need for a new outfit, as I shall not be attending the ceremony.
Why not?
Because, unlike you, I don't have to. I shall begin to pack my belongings instead. I trust you'll join me later, once you're richer by a medal and a fascinating new experience?
Count on it. Ceremonies, medals honoring virtues.
I've had no reprieve either. And I keep thinking of the last great virtue, compassion. It's the one
Mean you suddenly believe the 5 virtues theory, after all we've revealed?
It's not a question of belief, superstition, or old wives' tales. It's a conclusion derived through exercising pure logic. Siana planned everything in advance. Had we not stopped her, surely there'd have been a 5th victim. One the gossips would have associated with a lack of compassion.
Her plans don't matter now. Can't act on them. Ask the messenger who delivered my invitation to the ceremony. Siana's in the palace. Courtiers pressured the Duchess to lock her in a tower.
Do you care not a whit who else was in her black book? We've some time before the ceremony. We could still chat with that boot-cleaning urchin. He was the one to pass the victims' names to Dettlaff. Perhaps we missed something.
Regis, Bootblack didn't say anything about making deliveries when we talked to him. How do you know he handled the letters?
While you basked in glory and tried on new formal wear, I conducted a little investigation of my own. You'd be very proud to see how I conducted myself. I began by concocting an ample supply of boot wash for our enterprising young friend. I'd observed that among street folk, amidst their society as a whole, reciprocity takes precedence over all other codes, and thus no good deed goes unrewarded. Of course, the same holds true for malicious or destructive deeds.
The letters. What's the connection?
When the bootblack arrived to collect his bucketful, he hinted he knew more. Simply put, we'd failed to ask the proper questions when we chatted earlier. It took a bit more tongue-loosening, but ultimately he spoke.
He admitted he'd handed Dettlaff the letters. He knew this information was valuable to me. In providing it, he was simply repaying me.
All in all, why not check up on that? We'll go together, assuming we're done here.
I am done, yes. It lies in your hands now to see if you are able to present my handiwork at the ceremony with the dignity it is due. Or if you will first destroy it, crawling about the city's underbelly.
Promise to be careful.
It's the swordsman. Good to see you. Here for a spiffing? Dirty boots are a stain on professional dignity, you know. Step on up.
Need to ask you something.
Yet again? Go on then. I'm a proponent of free speech and I will gladly tell you all I know. But why not get your boots shanked while we jabber?
Guess they could use a spit and polish.
Then I shall take advantage as well. A friend of mine used to say boots should be as clean as the soles that wear them.
Clean boots, clean soles. A fine slogan.
How's business?
Well enough. I can't complain. Though it'd be even better were certain folk to sit down for a shine as they stood and chatted.
Man in the frock coat. You passed him some letters, remember?
Why, of course. I'm young, got a mind like a steel trap, but...
If you're about to tell me this information will cost me, forget it. How'd you get those letters?
Beggars brought them.
Beggars. Tell us more about them. How many were there?
Why, 4. 1 for each letter.
Just 4? Sure you didn't get a 5th?
I can't count, you know.
Remember anything else? These beggars have anything in common?
What? Come now. Each was different. Some had mismatched boots, others had no boots at all. Oh, I know! They all had no home!
Kid, my patience is starting to run a little thin. Now think hard. Remember what they looked like?
Of course. I've a mind like a steel trap, as I said. They were ragged, unshaved. Their clothes were tattered. As to their boots, well, I mentioned that already.
Geralt, allow me to ask a question. Listen, lad. I'll be glad to mix another batch of that boot shine for you. But you must focus now and tell us all you know. Where can we find the beggars?
Well, at the shelter, most like.
Where's that?
Everyone knows. It's just round the corner. Up those stairs, then right.
Thanks, kid. For your trouble. We must visit the shelter. Look around inside.
Willies are swinging betwixt them.
You've to move your little camp elsewhere, got it? This is a decent district. We need no fill. You? What do you want?
To talk.
Here, that's a waste of breath. We've tried it, only to tire our lips. We'll use other means of persuasion now.
Gentlemen, calm, please.
Either get out along with these flea-ridden vagabonds, or we'll toss you all out. Our patience is gone. This place is no longer a rank refuse dump.
Scram! Decent folk live here.
The shelter, them living here, bothers you. Question is why?
Look, Ballard. Another defender of the poor. Fighter for justice.
Damn nuisance. We've our women and young folk living next door, when even grown men fear to walk past such rabble.
Decent folk you mention. Mean yourselves?
Why? Do you doubt it?
Hell yes.
Hear that, Artois? He poking insults us. On our own turf.
We should step aside, good fellow. My friend is perfectly capable of settling this unfortunate dispute on his own.
All right. I can take a hint. Come, time to go.
I thank you so much for your aid. I tried to reason with them, but they'd have beat me blue had you not come along. I'm grateful. Immensely.
What did they want from you?
They are neighbors. Wish me to take my folk, the shelter, elsewhere. They dislike that I help the beggars. I do not oppose going elsewhere, were we to have somewhere to go. But you've come with a problem, have you? My turn to aid you.
Need some information. Looking for a man who might have mentioned the Boot Black in Rue de Garl.
The Boot Black? A feisty lad. I know him.
Any of your, wards supposed to meet him recently or soon?
Forgive me. Those I help and I are not so close that I would know. But should you wait, they'll all soon come for their meal. You can question them yourselves.
Sure all your usual beggars will be here?
They're not obliged to come, of course. But they rarely find a decent meal elsewhere. So, almost all in the area eat here.
Thanks. We'll...
My dears, I've a matter to address before I serve the soup. These two gentlemen have some questions of you. Pay attention. Answer in brief. For if you draw it out, your soup will go cold. And we wouldn't want that, would we?
Recently, 4 of you delivered sealed letters to the bootblack. I know this.
Does anyone know what the gentleman means? Go on, speak up. Romain?
Why should I squeal? We were all told not to mention the letters. We all swore.
You can tell me, Romain. You were given a letter and you delivered it, right? Good work, Romain. Thank you. Who else?
I got one too. Gave it to the bootblack. Freshie, he got one. But he can't tell you, as he's not here.
I still have mine. I'm to deliver it 2 days after the Feast of St. Barnabas.
It's a matter of importance to the Duchy. Hand it over, or I'll take it from you, plain and simple.
But I was to deliver it personally. Let no one else see it. That is what she said, and she was frightening.
You ought to heed folk who are kind and honest. These men helped me a short while ago, helped all of us. If this individual threatened you, you need not keep the promise you made.
All right, take it. I didn't want to see the bootblack anyways. It's always muddy there.
Damn it.
What is it? Another name, truly?
See for yourself.
Well. I must say, even I did not expect this. This time you will see to our Duchessa. It seems we underestimated Siana rather grossly.
Judging by this, Detloff was literally supposed to tear her heart out.
Yet first you must snap her neck. Puzzle it.
Puzzle complete now?
Alas, the matter ceased to be a tantalizing brain tease and has turned incredibly grave. We've proof of a plot to assassinate Toussaint's ruler. We've proof of a coup d'etat.
Duchess was to be Detloff's last victim. Siana planned it from the start.
Indeed. The logical conclusion, Geralt.
4 seemingly random victims to start. The virtue's their only link. Enough to get folk talking about a righteous, vengeful beast. Obscured the victims' links to Siana, even as she had those she despised killed off one by one, leaving the Duchess for last.
Had she managed to fulfill her plan, none would have questioned the reasons. Most would have thought Anna Henrietta had died for her sins. She was known to show a hard heart on many occasions. Ample proof of a lack of compassion.
Why would Siana murder her own sister? Out of envy? To take power? From an inborn penchant for evil?
Yes, yes, and yes. All seem likely, and none are mutually exclusive. But if you'd like to know for certain, you can always ask her yourself.
Actually, love to learn her motives.
Praiseworthy, I suppose. Sometimes one should stare evil in the face.
Seems a bit strong, no?
She used my friend as her tool for killing. I believe I've every right to condemn her, but I support your lust for the truth. Some philosophers think empirical examination the sole path to knowledge. I believe you mentioned the Duchess keeps Siana locked up.
Courtiers were insisting on a harsher punishment. Much harsher. Think Anna Henrietta had to protect her sister from a lynch mob as much as she wanted to protect her subjects from a criminal. One way or another, she's locked away in a secluded wing of the palace, awaiting trial before a court of law. I'd need to get past some guards to see her. Coming with?
Of course not. I shall await you at Mère Chaise Longue. I'll not risk entering the palace after Detloff and his minions rampage.
Besides, I vastly prefer the company of a simple mug of mandrake brew to that of the Duchess's vile sister.
So, said straight up, it means you're going off to get drunk because you hate Sienna.
I've never been fond of categorical statements of that kind, but I admit I could not vouch for my behavior.
She treated Dettlaff cruelly.
Caused his death in the end, and now this? Atop all that? No, Geralt. I will not go with you. I will await you at the cemetery.
Let me live.
Time is no cock. It keeps going.
Guess it's John.
Halt!
Need to see Sienna, urgently.
In the matter of?
Need to interrogate her. New facts have come to light. Need them explained. Seems she was planning your Kess's assassination.
Ah, fine then. You're that witcher who solved the murders, no? Then you've my permission, but only for a few minutes.
Promise to be brief.
The Witcher will speak with the inmate. You can take a momentary break.
As long as it's truly but a moment. Highly irregular, this.
Have you come to see how I fare? I'm fine, thank you. Artorius' ribbon worked wonders. It's a shame they took it from me.
I know who the fifth victim was supposed to be.
Goodness, you're simply a compulsive snoop. I'm in prison. Dettlaff is dead. Could you not just drop it?
Sienna, stop pretending you couldn't care less. I know it's an act, and it's really starting to wear. Why do you want to kill her?
For such an accomplished investigator to ask about the obvious? Come now, Geralt. Why do you think?
Because she turned her back on you, then banished all memory of you?
Bravo, Geralt. Yet another riddle solved, and your sick curiosity sated. Well, what now? Off to share your discovery with Anna Henrietta? Oh, she's no longer in danger, true. But she very well might add a little something to your reward.
Definitely gonna tell her. Not necessarily for the coin, though.
Then why do it at all?
She ought to know. If only 'cause you'll probably try to kill her again if she ever lets you out.
I probably will.
Perhaps, just for a second, you could stop dwelling on all the wrongs folk have done you, and forgive her.
Why should I?
For old time's sake. You loved each other once.
Please. I don't know who fed you that rubbish, but...
Read your governess's diary. You played together, were inseparable. Henriette'd get you into trouble sometimes, sure. But there were also times she stood up for you. When you had nightmares, only she could calm you. Time eats away at memories, distorts them. Sometimes we only remember the good. Sometimes only the bad.
If she loved me so, why did she wash her hands off me? Forget me, hmm?
Sienna, you were exiled when she was how old? 12? 13? She was a child. What was she supposed to do? Rebel? Organize a coup? Steal your father's seal and forge a pardon? She was powerless. Wiped you from her memory not because she didn't care, but because your departure was traumatic for her. She forgot because that was the only way she could handle the pain.
Ugh. You really want a happy ending, don't you? Ah, with all of us living happily ever after. Go, Witcher, or they'll give your medal to another. And that would be a shame.
Farewell, Sienna.
Commander de la Tour would like to see you. Shall we go at once?
Let's go. Want to see him too. Damien.
Geralt, it's about time. Ready for the ceremony?
Got some important information. Anna Henrietta was supposed to be Detloff and Sienna's 5th victim.
You are certain of this?
Completely. Found proof.
Inconceivable. How could she? The murders, the mayhem she brought down on the city, were they not enough? She sought to strike down her own sister, her liege. Traitor. I must alert my men. Enlarge the Duchess's honor guard. Make certain Sylvia Anna is closely watched during the questioning. I'll see to it personally. I thank you, Witcher, for alerting me, and I appreciate your attentiveness.
Let's begin the ceremony. Come with me. The Duchess awaits.
In the Guild's name, I beg your assistance, your enlightened highness. Without barrels, production will come to a stop, and it will be the end of us.
You lost them all in the fire. These are horrible tidings. Oh, we are most dreadfully saddened.
Yes, your enlightened highness all. Once the beasts had clawed their way into the warehouse, the whole place went up in flames.
I shall dispatch a palace guardsman to examine the site of the blaze. If things are, as you say, fitting compensation shall be paid from the ducal treasury.
Thank you, your enlightened highness. Your Grace, Geralt of Rivia has arrived.
My dear subjects, we come now to our next point of business. Of all the duties which fall upon my shoulders, as the ruler of this dominion, this duty is dearest to my heart. For now, we shall award the Order of Vitis Vinifera, Tucson's highest honor.
Geralt of Rivia, Slayer of the Beast of Beauclair, step forth.
We bestow the distinction upon the Witcher, who saved Beauclair from the terrible beast. Such is our desire. May this symbol serve as a reminder to all that the Witcher shall forever remain a friend of Beauclair. In more familiar terms now, I thank you immensely, Geralt. Damien has your reward for you. After all, it was but a contract.
Thank you.
I have a small surprise for you, in addition. I give you more than a dozen barrels of Son Real, a wine normally reserved for the ducal table. The gustatory experience of a lifetime awaits. Are you content?
Feels like a second distinction. I'm honored. Thank you.
I trust you shall make good use of it. In a moment I shall speak to Siana. Will you assist me? You returned my sister to me, yet you also showed me her horrendous deeds. As head of state, I must judge her fairly. But she is my sister. Thus my heart bleeds for her.
If my presence will help in any manner, of course I'll stay.
We shall now question a person implicated in the murders which recently ravaged our fair city of Beauclair. Captain de la Tour, show Sylvia Anna in.
The Witcher will take part in our talk.
The Duchess requested I be present.
You have committed crimes. Grave crimes. Yet you are my sister, and my heart does not allow me to treat you as a common criminal. Thus I have asked Geralt to advise me, as one impartial. I shall now hear what he has to say.
Bitterness consumes Siana. She had cause to resent many of the court of Beauclair. I know her reasons, understand them even. but I can't condone the actions she chose to take.
What is he talking about, Siana? You know exactly what. I was forcibly exiled, remember? To your benefit. You knew well the throne would then be yours, though I was the elder. The ministers I can understand. They'd hated me since I was a child, thought me a poor prospect for the wife of a duke. I even understand our parents. I'd always sensed the problem. They simply feared me, for I dared to be free. That fabricated curse, it fell into their laps. A gift from above that brought relief. But you... your dagger hurt most. You were my Honorietta, damn it. My darling little sister. Now do you understand, Witcher? She betrayed me.
Claim to understand them all? Why'd you come back for revenge? Have them all cut down, then?
They deserved my vengeance. They detested me, all of them, as long as I can remember. But Honorietta understood me. Once. She was all I could cling to. Her betrayal hurt the most.
You were children then. You and your sister both had no control over what happened.
You're wrong, Witcher. She had control. Remember, dear sister? The day they banished me from the palace. Of course, I'd had the idea to pelt the Nilfgaardian envoy with fish bladders, which we filled with rancid suet on a lark. And which you set afire at the last, to impress me, I imagine. And I admit, you did. Hit him right in his hideous bald patch. Never laughed so hard in my life. But when it came time to find the culprit, you said not a word. I took all the blame and all the punishment.
It's true. I did not stand up.
The council was unanimous. They listed all my offenses. My flights from the palace, supposed acts of cruelty, inappropriate friendships. They cast me out, but you, the only one to understand me, you cowered in a corner, lifted not a finger to help. Not before, not after. You never tried to find me.
That's not true. I searched for you. Sent out knights, gathered tidings from without. You did not wish to be found. Since the day you vanished, I have lived with the knowledge that I failed you. I'm sorry, dear sister. Can you forgive me?
All in all, best part of the whole ceremony? It was short.
Perhaps for you, as you ducked out early. The others are probably just getting started. The drunkenness never ends in this quaint realm.
Not so fond of Toussaint after all, are we?
Oh, this place is like a strong wine, Geralt. Good in small sips.
How do you find my personal brew? Not too strong?
Just right.
Credit the local mandrake of the Alrauna diabolus variety for that. The tubers which grow in this area's volcanic soil have an altogether unique flavour profile and display a remarkably uncommon dark brown tint.
Fascinating. All I can say is this batch turned out excellent.
Indeed. It might be wise to stockpile some roots for the future. Would you care to accompany me?
If you think it's a good idea, let's go. But I think you might be forgetting one thing. Fresh mandrake root of this variety is highly toxic, even to a witcher.
Ah, not a problem. I never forget matters of safety and hygiene in alchemy. Here, gloves and a mask. Don them, and you shall be in no danger.
Thanks. Right then, let's go.
This moonlight makes me, oh, so dreamy.
Penny for your thoughts. Let me guess. Succubus twins?
No, I was thinking about, oh, how anything can look interesting when properly lit.
Even an old necrophage corpse?
You've not an ounce of refinement in you, have you?
And if I were to add Jimson Reed in the last phase, could be an intriguing blend, that.
Now, where'd that bloodsucker go? Won't be easy to track down. He's a vampire, after all. Damn it, where'd you go?
Regis!
Raise your hand against the vampire!
I did what I had to do!
Those Bruxay, they called you a traitor.
Alas, we've a very simple code of honor, we vampires. So simple you might call it trivial. Either one is with us, unconditionally, regardless of the circumstances, or...
Won't let it go, will they?
They will not. Fortunately, we've another rule, an unwritten one, and just as trivial as the first. It is neatly summarized in the saying, out of sight, out of mind. That is why I must leave Toussaint. For a vastly long time, most like.
Yeah, I get it.
Let us make for my camp. I've an overwhelming desire to have another drink. Supreme bouquet. Firm, defined beginning. then develops gently, rising to a startling finish. Don't you think?
Not much of a connoisseur.
Then it is high time you started your education. After all, the Corvo Bianco vineyard is now yours. By the way, I left a gift for you at your new home, on the nightstand.
Thanks. Mind telling me what it is?
A trifle. That will nonetheless be useful should you need mutagens. Incidentally, have you thought about what you'll do with your prize? Shall you hang your swords over the mantle and take to pruning vines?
No, just not the life for me. Sure, might stop by there occasionally, stay the winter, fill up on wine. But I'd rather keep moving. It's not a choice being a witcher. And once you are one, you're one for life. You can't just step off the path. Besides, plenty of work left for me in the world. Ghouls aren't gonna kill themselves.
Rather droll, isn't it, that each time we meet, something harrowing must happen? I can remember a night, not too far from here if I'm not mistaken. We hid in a cave while a blizzard raged all about. Does that sound at all familiar?
How could it not? We just set off to rescue Ciri from Vilgefortz.
Oh, our encounter with Vilgefortz. That is something I do not remember so fondly. But that first stay in Beauclair, far calmer than this one.
Seemed like a land straight out of a fairy tale back then. Its sole problem, cellars too small to accommodate all that wine.
Appearances, Geralt. Appearances, like Mamoons and Dopplers, deceive. So what did become of Vilgefortz?
Killed him. Sure wasn't easy, though. What about you? Any idea where you'll go?
Distance is of the essence. I thought I might venture south.
Nilfgaard?
Why ever not? The Nilfgaardians are a modern society. None there believe in vampires anymore. This fact alone could be very useful to one wishing to remain incognito.
Interesting point of view. I so don't feel like going anywhere. Sit here a while longer?
So we shall, my friend. We have witnessed, and in fact on several occasions incited, many great and weighty events. After all that toil, I believe we deserve a bit of a rest.
That we do.
What a game, man. What a game.
Actually, I'd love to go home.
You spread some nastiness to me.
Welcome home, sir. I am Barnabas Basil Fauti. By order of the Duchess, I shall serve you as Major Domo of Corvo Bianco. I previously served with distinction at the Nibli family manor and in Nazaire with Admiral Rompali, who, as you are certain to know, is an extraordinary, demanding gentleman.
Whoa, Barnabas Basil. One thing you ought to know. I'm not your typical landed gentleman. Truth be told, this is the first real property I've ever owned.
Oh, in that case, you must leave it all to me. I shall organize, see to everything, and whip the house into order. I dare say this place will soon be the most prosperous vineyard around.
Great. Can already see I'm in good hands.
Prior to undertaking anything in that regard, sir, I feel I should inform you that someone has been awaiting your arrival.
Who might that be?
You must forgive me, I do not know. Alas, your guest failed to give a name. One last request before you go in to see them. Please, come and find me afterwards. I have yet to give you a tour of the estate.
What's that smell?
You look good. Calm. Don't just stand there. I want a hug.
What did you bring?
A Garkin from Angren. I slew it. All by my lonesome.
That why you left Carrera so suddenly? Had no idea where you'd gone. Your note was puzzling. Don't try to find me. Threw me for a loop.
That was silly. It's just that I felt stifled in your shadow. I'd have suffocated had I stayed. So when I read that notice, the contract, when I saw Angren, I knew I had to do it. Alone. Without my nanny.
I'm not your nanny. I believe in you. Like my new house?
It's a lovely home. Has a great deal of potential.
Got it from the Duchess as a down payment for killing the beast. Already managed to renovate a bit. Come outside, I'll show you the grounds.
Ah, it's lovely here. I could stay forever.
Nah, come on. You wouldn't like it.
Why not?
Get bored mighty quick. There's nothing here. It's peaceful, quiet, not a bloodthirsty beast in sight.
After that Garkin in Angren, I believe I deserve a little rest.
Indeed you do, mademoiselle. As my major domo would say.
You've a butler?
A steward. Name's Barnabas Basil. BB for short, though I don't know if he likes it. He's the one let you in. I'll ask him to bring in some fruit, a beverage. You can spend the rest of the day lying about.
Ah, nothing would make me happier.
Being a witcher anything like you imagined?
Geralt, I didn't have to imagine anything. Remember, before we parted, we walked a good stretch of the path together.
Journeyman and master, though, not the same thing.
I'm still a long way from mastering anything, but I am trying. Anyway, I did learn from the best.
Just passed on what worked for me. Or at least tried to.
I was thinking of Eskel and Lambert.
So, no regrets? Choice you made?
Not at all. I'm doing what I ever wanted to do. Being who I wanted to be. I
believe that's one definition of happiness.
Engrin, how'd it go? Garcanes can be pretty tough opponents.
That's why I had to lure this one to a place both spacious and empty, where it would have nowhere to hide. I found an abandoned crypt far from any town or village.
Good choice. Always best to avoid additional casualties, so your foe had nowhere to hide. But the bastard was still damn quick, I bet.
Not as quick as I am. My greater worry was its strength. I was far outclassed there. But a dose of black blood did the trick. We fought a while, I feigned a mistimed dodge and let it drink. The rest was easy.
Encountered the most charming aspect of being a Witcher yet?
Which aspect is that?
The hatred, disgust, that strange blend of admiration, fear, and contempt.
They set their hounds on me in one village. In another, they forbade me from taking a drink from their well. Other than that, it's been all right. No one's tried to cheat me out of my reward so far.
I'd hoped they'd treat a woman differently.
Geralt, when they treat a woman differently in this world, it hardly ever means better. Quite the opposite.
See you later, Ciri.
Take care of yourself.
See you've taken a liking to this. See you later.
Take care of yourself.
Your health, may you keep it evermore. The whole place is not botched and wanked.
How might I be of service?
Vineyard comes across as a...
Baron?
He was...
No, he never said...
Shame.
Not a...
Mind give...
Not in... Behold, sir, your estate in all its splendor.
Pretty vast.
Indeed.
Been a major domo all your life?
Yes, I come from a long line of major domos. My father was a major domo, as was my grandfather before him, as was my great aunt. In fact, she was the one to start the tradition.
Great aunt?
A hard woman. It is said that already as a child, she knew where she was going, and went there. When she arrived in Beauclair, she signed on as a chambermaid at one of the vineyards, then slowly worked her way up to major domo. She dragged the rest of the family up the same path. The servants' quarters. I occupy the green home. With the Duchess's permission, I have hired a full staff. Their salaries to be paid from the ducal treasury.
Nice of her.
Not the most sightly part of the estate, I admit. But I think it's worthwhile for you as master of the domain to know where the help stays.
Bread adds a spring to your step. Wine adorns your head with thorns.
Baron Rossel ordered the vines in this part of the estate uprooted and olive groves planted in their place. They look beautiful, especially come spring.
Don't look at all bad now, either. Down below lies your vineyard, where we grow a strain of Carfanere, one of the world's oldest. Aged in oak barrels, it provides for an exquisite wine with distinct blackberry, wild cherry, plum, and cinnamon notes. Marvelous. Have to try it one of these days. Nice well. Picturesque.
Yes, though it ran dry long ago. During the raucous feasts Master Bolius held, he would order it filled with wine. There's a tale about a guest attending a Bolius ball for the first time and thus unaware of the custom. He had suffered great heartbreak and had decided to end his life by jumping into the well. The festivities were coming to a close, and the well was nearly empty when the suicidal guest finally jumped. Instead of killing himself, he merely broke his legs. He drank the wine.
Drank himself to death?
Not at all. When found the next day, he had concluded he'd witnessed twin miracles. The water had been changed into wine, and he had survived. He retired to a monastery in the Dragon Mountains and began preaching the wisdoms of Yedwin.
We had to summon a witcher to do that.
Monsieur Bolius' wife Nina kept a garden here. A supremely lovely place it was.
Bit neglected now.
I agree. Yet nothing stands in the way of restoring it to its former glory, and once again planting it with herbs and other vegetation. Follow me, please. Madame Nina planted diminutive, delicate flowers and herbs here. One might say their aroma still hangs in the air.
You're quite the romantic, Barnabas Basil.
Ah, love, you
Follow me, please.
Diddly, my Camilla,
Please, please.
Get up, come here. Let me give you a kiss, you dashing young thing.
A wish and a whack.
This served as an additional wine cellar in years of plentiful harvests.
Bit of work, and it'll make a fine stable for Roach.
The Dutch is small, but do you know any who's not heard of
The
our
cellars, voila. During Monsieur Bolis's time, wine was kept here, but Baron Rossel used it to store olive oil as well. I took the liberty of cleaning up the mess, which
I made while fighting the Bruxa. Thanks, Barnabas Basil. Appreciate it.
As you can see, the facade is, how to put it, slightly stained. But one cannot deny it, a certain subtle southern charm.
True, though it could use a bit of subtle paint.
Follow me, please. And welcome inside. On the left is the master bedroom. On the right, the dining hall and kitchen. Upstairs, you shall find the guest room, currently used for storage.
Not a bad idea.
At the moment, the house is only minimally furnished. Yet I believe we will, together, devise some innovative arrangements. A few paintings, for instance, would breathe new life into the abode immediately. With that, sir, you've seen the full lay of the land. Corfo Bianco is forgive me for being forward, but if you were to choose to invest a small sum towards its beautification, consider me at your service on the matter.
Think I'll take you up on that. Be sure to come and see you if I decide to do any remodeling. Mentioned the place.
Oh, most decidedly.
Been thinking.
If I might dare to make a suggestion, why not start with a Not only did the rest...
It's in your hands.
I shall get to work immediately. Highly skilled at what they do. Is there anything...
Got...
Oh, yeah. The way I...
My... Good.
Indeed. Will you be needing...
And...
Of course.
And...
Of course. Will you be needing...
Know what?
I shall be glad.
Thank...
Our knight's errant? They're so heroic, we had to summon a witch.
Yeah? What is it?
Now, why does one summon a witcher, To inquire about the gossip currently flowing about the court? I've a problem with a beast.
Ah, you the one posted the notice? Go on then, spit it out. What's it about?
First, my dear witcher, we must establish ground rules. Given the vast difference in our respective social positions, I'm sorry to say I take umbrage at the familiar tone you take. I expect deference. I expect you to address me as Sir, or better yet, as Monsieur de Bourbeau.
Fine. Monsieur de Bourbeau.
The emphasis falls on the last syllable. Bourbeau?
Mm-hmm. See, now I'd rather emphasize something else. Tell me what this is about, monsieur, or I'll change my mind and go.
Naughtlings and their manners. Very well. Let us get this over with. Something has infested my vineyard.
Mm-hmm. Great. Let me go prepare my something oil then.
I beg your pardon?
Need more information than that. Where was this something seen? Any witnesses? Bodies to examine?
Therein lies the rub. None has seen the beast. We've only heard signs of its presence, a strange scratching and shrieks. Neither are there any corpses to inspect. Men simply disappear without a trace.
Noises you mentioned. Where do they come from?
Well, but they most clearly ought to...
Means the monster must dwell underground.
In the night, just as they were years ago, when the buildings quaked. Another expert agreed to look into the matter then, but was never...
Who's disappeared?
Most.
Despite the vast difference in your social statuses, do you perchance remember the farmhand's name?
No. You must speak to my wife. She has more collegial relations with this household help. She's away at the moment visiting her mother, but should return forthwith. Oh, that should suffice with the questions. Now tell me, will you take the contract? Yea or nay?
Depends.
Fine. Seems I must take the loss. Agreed.
Fine, I'll do it. Need to look around here first. Then I'll want to talk to Madame de Bourbeau.
Very well. I shall inform you once she has returned. Meanwhile, the key to the cellar. Just... whatever you do, please do not disturb the wine barrels.
It's quiet. Guess the monster actually is nocturnal. Gotta wait till dark. All right, let's look around. Shattered dishes. Got knocked off the shelf somehow. Shaken off, maybe? Rats. Not known to kidnap farmhands. What the...
The guard brings peace to our domains. Flout its writ and rot in chains.
Est flows in the veins of Tuscan.
Oh.
Sycamores. Goes on and on, this tunnel.
What now, you piece of filth?
Should be able to break through. Damn it, it's getting away. No Kikimore dug this. Tunnels are the work of something much bigger. Something with heavy, wide claws. More eggs. Something's been feeding on them. Getting more interesting by the minute. Kicking more eggs. Should destroy them before the young hatch. Start prowling the vineyard. Water coursing. Underground stream. Monster I'm looking for lives underground, digs tunnels, feeds on Kikimores. It is big. Very big. Won't learn anything else here. Time to go back to the surface.
Sacre bleu!
What is the meaning of this? I'm paying you to slay a monster, not demolish my property.
Property's falling apart on its own, what with all the tunnels under it. I'd fill those in soon if you don't want your building to collapse.
Tunnels? Fiddle my thumb, how did tunnels appear down there?
Something dug 'em. A large creature. Also killed a few Kikimores down there and destroyed their eggs. Consider it a half favor. Won't cost you much.
Kikimore eggs. Yes, of course, good work. Indeed, a reward is due.
Madame de Bourbeau, I presume? Hear you know something about the missing farmhand.
Jean-Luc? Yes. We went to examine this year's seedlings. Something had been nibbling at them. Then we heard these odd noises. Jean-Luc went to reconnoiter and never returned.
Madame, could you describe Jean-Luc?
Tall, exceedingly well built. Hair black as pitch.
Dear, concentrate. There is not a peasant that is not well built. They work in the fields all day. He means scars, birthmarks, that sort of thing.
Then none, I suppose. But he did wear a pendant around his neck. A silver one.
Silver jewelry on a farmhand?
It was a gift, I believe. Or that is what he claimed.
Should be enough to go on.
Then what are you fritting round here for? Get to work.
Please, find Jean-Luc.
Perhaps I can turn this tunnel?
The guard brings peace to our domains. Flaunt its ring, rot in chains.
Blind, are you?
Bread's really stale. Been here a while. Blanket was laid out here. Footprints. 2 sets. Tracks split. Woman turned back here. Man kept going. Claw marks. Straight, dull. Perfect for digging. Felled trees, as if something rolled over them. So is Shaelmar. Only they dig tunnels and move like that. large, deep tracks. Trail to that cave. Its victims here. Pretty fresh, some of them. Gonna have to brew some bait. Need the blood of a recent victim and some of the mushrooms that grow here. Highly decayed, partly eaten. Been lying here a while. Fresh corpse. Must be Jean-Luc. Crushed ribs, cracked skull. Shalmar did this. No two ways about it. Silver pendant. A lock of hair inside. Same color as Madame de Bourbeau's. Spill it within the lair, somewhere near an air current, so the scent spreads throughout the cave. Ugh, that stench. Shalemore will be here any minute. Come on, show me your claws.
Potion 2.